This video is to help you, as the school assessment coordinator, determine how to provide designated supports for the forward exam as well as print test tickets. I've shared a couple of documents with you. One of them was this document as to who can determine what type of accommodations and supports need to be made. The reason that these three have principal approval is because if you allow text-to-speech, what you're saying is that that student's actually going to have a longer exam, because text-to-speech will read everything on the page. You can't skip past a question. You'll have to listen to the whole thing before you can move on to the next part. So what I'm hearing is that that's going to automatically add time to the length of the test for administration, and so that's why it's being that's why principal approval is needed. For read aloud and scribes, both of those require one-on-one administration. Very strict rules for both of them, so if that's an accommodation that is in a student's IEP, those are special circumstances, and you'll have to provide one-on-one testing, so you want to make sure that you're aware of that, which is why you're being asked for principal approval. Very few students would have read aloud to them. If they do need to hear it, primarily it is going to be text-to-speech. After all those staff and faculty have determined which of these accommodations there are, I shared this with you so you could just make a copy of this and then share it to your teachers so that you know for each subject area, ELA, math, social studies, science, all of the students that have the various accommodations and supports. And you can see which pieces are there. If you have another easier way to gather that information, that's fine as well. When you're in the system, there's a couple of things for the eDirect system. And so, if we go to places along the side here, let's try students. There we go. So under test setup, students, we can pick a school, so we're just going to pick Carrollton. And you click on the Find Students button, and you can see all of your students listed here. If you click on a Students Action button, what you're going to get is the place where you can put their accommodations in. So you go to the student, you can see for ELA, math, science, social studies, each of the various supports or accommodations that are allowed, and you just go through and click off the ones that you want and then hit save if there are any changes to that. There is one other feature that if you have the same accommodations going for multiple students, so let's say these three students all have the same accommodation, you can go update accommodations after you click off those three student names, and you will get a page and then you can click in the ones that are the same for all of those students, add all of those pieces, and then click save, and it will save them for all three. So if you have the same accommodations for multiple students, or even parts of the same accommodations, it might be faster to add part of those with this multiple student feature. So you have to do that for every student that has some type of an accommodation. All of the universal tools are already turned on. If you want to turn anything off, that is a special accommodation, so just be aware of that. Once you have all of these accommodations, then you can print test tickets. So when you go into test sessions, we still have Carrollton, so we're going to show all the test sessions. And you go here and you click the print all tickets. If you change an accommodation for a student after you've printed the tickets, you've got to print their ticket again. If you click on the print button, you're going to get a couple of things on the page, some general rules, a nice little handy shortcut list of all of the students, and then you'll get individual tickets that will have to be cut up for each student. A nice suggestion is that when you do the test tickets, you might want to print each different test on a different colored piece of paper, so that way it makes it easy when you are handing out test tickets. You know that green is for ELA and blue is for math, or however you want to decide that. But that was a nice little hint. Hopefully this is helpful to you. So remember that you need to get all the accommodations into the system as the school assessment coordinator. Contact me if you have any questions. Carrie Strasser can also help you a little bit as well. And then you'll have to print test tickets after that. Make sure you get the accommodations done first. Thanks. Hopefully this was helpful.